based on the data collected. Other reviews are only the research article, like that there is no data have been collected.
In case of the system, you are mixing with the systematic literature review with the meta-analysis. Meta-analysis is the part of the systematic literature review. But what is the difference between systematic literature review and other reviews?
Sir, in systematic literature review, we follow a strict guideline. Before we started systematic literature review, we prepare a protocol. According to there are so many guidelines are present in quantitative study, case control study, Prisma or etc. Then we search some key words. Then we do researcher search the literature simultaneously, and they use 3 or 4 website or data extraction method. Then they consciously there are some guideline criteria present, which criteria fulfill the their guideline. They select that type of data, type of study, then pull the data, then prepare the statistical calculation, and then conclusion.
Okay. Do you have any idea about the narrative literature review?
Sir, may I?
Sure.
Sir, narrative reviews are basically the publication that is discussing over a specific topic from a theoretical viewpoint. That is narrative review.
Okay. For example, I am asking you to tell something about the topic peace. P-E-A-C-E. So can you tell me anything about peace?
If you want to ask me about the peace, so I can tell what is my explanation regarding peace, what is my biasness, what I believe about peace. So this is kind of narrative review. What I know about this topic and my own opinion.
Okay. Now, if I ask you this question, that is, can you think of any research topic which is related to the peace?
Then I need to go for a systematic review.
I'm talking that is peace related any research topic. I think Anthony can tell. Hello, Anthony. You are in army. You are dealing with the peace.
Sir, if you ask about peace, I can tell about only the narrative only, sir, from my own only. How we maintain peace between through the guidelines of the army, which has been given from the higher authority like ministries. We always maintain peace. So like that, it is something related to narrative only, sir.
Yeah, that means when we are thinking about the narrative literature review, at that time, we will focus only the qualitative approach, mainly. The descriptive approach. Okay. And particularly in relation with the peace in army, if I ask you this type of question, then you can talk about the peace building.
Sir.
Okay, peace building, that is the issue. Now, in case of Debjani's research, Debjani can think about the music and peace.
Sir, I have already searched one from the research kit, that music and peace.
Yeah, so you can think about the music therapy and peace, or music and peace.
Music and peace I have.
Okay.
And you give a task, home task, and practice that for the research go to.
And in case of the Babita's area, Kavita's area also the gynecology and obstetrics. So they can think about the peace in pregnancy.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir, in case of my, how can I relate it?
Babita?
In case of my study, how can I relate it, sir? Peace and my statement.
Yes, peace in pregnancy.
My topic is not related to pregnancy, sir.
No, your topic is of gynecology and obstetrics, no? Yesterday.
No, sir. My topic is related to child health nursing, physical and
Oh,
health
acha.
and nutritional assessment. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I think one has told me that is
Kavita.
Kavita, okay.
Yes,
in case of Kavita, maybe Kavita can think about the peace in pregnancy.
Yes, sir.
So the question is, you have to think of the topic, and then you can generate different type of research questions. And then you can search the digital search engine so that you can get some information, some research studies conducted by some authors, and you can accumulate all the researches. After that, you can describe the research. So now I am showing you the different types of literature review. So please you follow. Bhavita, can you read it? What are the types I have written?
Yes, sir. Type are the narrative, systematic, meta-analysis, meta-synthesis, scoping, critical, and rapid. And second last is umbrella. And the last one is integrative, sir.
Okay. So these are the types of literature review. Broad types. Okay.
Here that narrative has not come, sir.
Yeah, now Anthony, please you read.
Narrative literature review. Yeah. Narrative or traditional literature review is a comprehensive, critical and objective analysis of the current knowledge on a topic.
Yeah.
They are an essential part of a research process and help to establish a theoretical framework and focus or context for your research. Second point is systematic reviews attempt to aggregate, appraise and synthesize in a single source all empirical evidence that meet in a set of previously specified eligibility criteria in order to answer a clearly formulated and often narrow research question on a particular topic of interest to support evidence-based practice.
So what is the difference between the two? Have you observed?
No, sir.
One is the
Analysis.
empirical
It's the
evidence.
objective analysis, sir.
Yeah,
The narrative
empirical
study.
evidence.
Yes.
For
It is
example, I have told you that is peace in pregnancy. So one author conducted some focus group discussion, and through the focus group discussion, authors contributed some of the determinants related to the peace in pregnancy. And another author validated those determinants. So for the systematic literature review, which will be considered? The first author's work or the second author's work?
Sir, second author's work.
Correct.
validated this. Who have validated this?
Yes. Okay. So, but in case of the narrative literature review, which will be considered?
Sir, theme generation.
Definitely theme generation. And in the narrative literature review, you can consider the contribution of both authors, first author and the second author. But in systematic review, you have to give importance on the second author study. Okay.
Sir, I have a question.
Sure.
So the narrative literature review is purely descriptive in nature.
Yes, narrative literature review, just the narration.
Okay, okay.
It is descriptive.
Sir.
Now I am coming to the meta-analysis. Okay, so Shubhana, can you read meta-analysis? Please you read.
A meta-analysis is a statistical technique used in research to combine and analyze the results of multiple independent studies on a particular topic. Instead of relying on the findings of a single study, a meta-analysis pools data from various studies to provide a more comprehensive and reliable overview of the research questions or hypotheses. The process involves systematically reviewing and synthesizing the results in individual studies, quantitatively analyzing the combined data to derive overall effect size or estimate of the relationship between variables. Meta-analysis are often used in fields such as medicine, psychology, education, and social science to gain a more robust understanding of the collective evidence available on a specific topic. And meta-analysis can help identify patterns, trends, and consistencies across different studies, and they are particularly useful when individual studies may have limitations or when there are conflicting results in the literature. The goal is to provide a more accurate and generalizable estimate of the true effect size or association between variables by considering a larger body of evidence.
Okay. So what are the major characteristics of meta-analysis? We find here.
So meta-analysis is basically a part of systematic review, which consists of statistical technique. That is basically a statistical technique used for systematic review. This is a kind of quantitative research approach.
Sir, meta-analysis is a bigger part of the systematic review, sir.
Okay, why in systematic review meta-analysis is important?
To know, sir, effect size of the study. In case randomized control, but in experimental study helps to know the effect size calculation.
And association between the variables.
Exactly.
And it also helps in generalizing that data or generalizing the findings.
Now, my point that is in systematic review of literature, meta-analysis is very important. Why meta-analysis is important in systematic literature review?
It helps to gather the quantifying data.
Empirical evidence. Okay. Empirical evidence. Systematic literature review is giving importance on the empirical evidence. And this empirical evidence is possible through this meta-analysis. Therefore, in systematic literature review, meta-analysis is very, very important. Now, Kavita, please read.
Metasynthesis. Metasynthesis refers to the process of integrating and synthesizing qualitative research findings from multiple studies on a particular topic. Unlike meta-analysis, which primarily deals with quantitative data, metasynthesis focuses on qualitative data and aims to draw overarching theme, pattern, and meaning from a diverse qualitative study. The process of meta-synthesis typically involves identification of the relevant study, selecting and gathering a set of qualitative studies that address the research question or topic of interest. Number two, second, data extraction, extracting and compiling relevant qualitative data such as themes, concept, and interpretation from selecting the study. Analysis and synthesis, analyzing the extracting qualitative data to identify common themes, patterns, or concepts that emerge across the studies. This often involves a process of coordination.
Now, of coding.
Coding, categorizing, and interpreting the findings.
Okay. So what is the difference between meta-analysis and meta-synthesis?
Meta-synthesis mainly involved in the quantitative study where the theme.
No, meta-analysis is quantitative and meta-synthesis is qualitative.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this is not based upon the statistical model, but it is based upon the coding, categorizing, and interpreting. And finally, extracting the themes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is the meta-synthesis. Now, Anushka, can you read scoping?
Yes, sir. Scoping in the context of a literature review refers to the process of systematically exploring, mapping, and assessing existing literature on a particular topic, identify key concepts, theories, evidence, and research gap. A scoping review is a type of literature review that aims to provide an overview of the available evidence without necessarily synthesizing or analyzing it in depth. Here are the key steps involved in scoping a literature review. Identifying the research question or topic. Clearly define the research question or topic that you want to explore in the literature. Setting inclusion and exclusion criteria. Establish criteria for selecting relevant studies. This may include specifying the types of resource and the time frame for inclusion. Searching for relevant studies. Conduct a comprehensive and systematic search of the literature using databases, academic journals, and other sources to identify relevant studies.
Next.
Screening and selection. Review and screen the identified studies based on the inclusion and exclusion criteria. The goal is to include a broad range of literature that provides a comprehensive overview of the topic. Data extraction. Extract key information from the selected studies, such as study characteristics, methodologies, key findings, and themes. This process helps in summarizing the existing literature. Mapping and charting. Organize the extracted data to create visual representations or chart that illustrate the key concepts, themes, and relationships within the literature. This can help identify patterns and gaps. Collating, summarizing, and reporting. Summarize the main findings from the selected studies and provide an overview of the existing literature. This typically involves narrative synthesis rather than statistical analysis.
So,
consultation and feedback. Optionally, involve stakeholders, experts, or peers in the process to ensure that the scoping review is comprehensive and accurate. Seek feedback on the scope, methodology, and findings. Identify research gaps. Highlight areas where the existing literature is limited or where further research is needed. This is a key contribution of a scoping review. Scoping reviews are particularly useful when the goal is to examine the breadth and the depth of available literature on a topic, especially when the literature is diverse or not well defined. They provide a foundation for future research and can help researchers find their research questions or design more focused, systematic reviews.
Okay, correct. So now can anybody tell me what is the difference between the scoping and systematic literature review?
Sir, scoping in review helps to identify the gap of research field.
Yeah.
Sir, in the factor of whether where the existing literature is limited or where the further research is needed. So this is a key conception of a scoping review.
Yeah, any other? When we follow the scoping review, and when we follow the systematic literature review.
The systematic review in case of empirical study and scoping review may be narrative study review related.
So maybe some empirical evidence is available, and whether those empirical evidences can be accommodated in scoping or not.
Sir, please repeat the question.
Sir, in both studies, we can go through the scoping, but in case of systematic review, we should go for only the experiment, but evidence-based, sir.
Evidence-based, correct. And this evidence-based research can be accommodated in the narrative form. Okay. In case of the scoping review.
I would like to add one more point, sir. I
Yes.
think in with scoping, there's one more thing that we can do is if we do find if the literature is skewed or the evidence is not enough, it can help the researcher to actually pursue the research in the same area if it is not enough. But in systematic, yeah, like the other said, that we go with the materials that are already been collected and verified. But scoping actually helps us to develop and pursue a research. So that way, I think it is helpful and different.
Yeah, that is also true, Anushka. Thank you. Now, I am requesting Mohisha Shadija. Mohisha Shadija.
Sorry, sir. My mistaken. Wait, sir.
Oh, sir, your name.
Sir, yes, I am Dr. Jagdish, sir. I'm changing the name, sir. But here,
okay.
Yeah. I came a bit late, sir. 20 minutes late.
Oh, no problem, sir. No problem. It is available in YouTube, so no problem.
Right.
Anthony, can you read critical review?
A critical literature review is an in-depth analysis and evaluation of existing literature on a specific topic. Unlike a standard literature review that primarily summarizes the finding of previous studies, a critical literature review goes beyond a description and involves a critical statement of the quality, relevance, and contributions of the reviewed literature. It aims to provide a nuanced understanding of the existing research, identify gaps, and the other insight for future studies. Here are key elements and steps involved in conducting a critical literature review.
Yeah, please read.
Critical review. Define the research question. Critically articulate the research question or objective that the literature review will assess. Search and selection of literature. Conduct a comprehensive literature search using database, academic journals, books, and other relevant sources. Select studies that are directly relevant to the search questions and represent a diverse range of perspective. Organize and summarize. Summarize the main finding of each selected study, highlighting a key concepts, methodologies, and results. Organize the literature logically, possibly by themes, methodologies, and chronological order. Critical analysis. Evaluate the strength and weakness of each study, considering factors such as research design, methodology, sample size, and data analysis. Assess the reliability and validity of evidence presented in the literature.
Next.
Identify patterns and themes. Look for patterns, trends, and recurring themes across the selected studies. consider conflicting findings or divergent perspectives within the literature. Synthesis and integrate findings. Integrate the findings from different studies to form a coherent narrative. Identify areas of consensus, controversy, and uncertainty. Identify research gaps. Uncertainty. Identify research gaps. Highlight any gaps or limitations in the existing literature. Discuss areas where further research is needed to address unanswered questions. Provide critique and reflection. Offer a critical reflection on the overall state of the literature, discussing its strength and limitations. Consider the implications of the reviewed literature for the broader field of study. Conclude and recommended future directions. Summarize the key findings and insight from the critical literature review. Suggest recommendations for future research based on the identified gaps and opportunities. A critical literature review requires a thoughtful and analytical approach with a focus on the quality and context of the reviewed studies. It contributes to the development of the theoretical framework, informs research design, and helps researchers make informed decisions about the direction of their own studies.
Okay. So, can anybody tell me what is the difference between critical literature review and the systematic literature review?
Sir, critical literature review helps to formulate the theoretical framework. Development of theoretical framework, whereas the systemic literature review helps only pulling of the data, etc.
Critical review, it helps to assess the strength and weakness of an article or any qualitative study, specifically qualitative study.
No, anything more?
The systematic reviews is based on the evidence-based study only.
That is true. But this critical literature review, what will be the focused area?
Sir, critical literature review actually finds the gap which is being present in the existing literature. It critically analyzes every aspect of the researches that has been done, and it tries to find out the places which have been left blank, which can be used further for research purpose.
Sir, critical review mainly focus the quality and context of the review study.
That is common for all the literature review. But why critical literature review is important? Critical literature review will focus on which area? Methodology, okay. The sampling frame, the context. So methodology is the major area, critical literature review. Which methodology you have followed? So do you have any idea about the Pavlov classical conditioning theory and the Skinner's operant conditioning theory?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the research gap between the two? classical conditioning and operant conditioning with respect to the methodology.
Sir, I think the Skinner's was the experiment, and I think both were experiment, but he followed it in a systematic manner rather than the Pavlov, because it was in Pavlov it was not like he decided, like it was not a well followed experiment, so he just kept doing it. It was more like trial and error, I think. And in the Skinner's, he was more consistent and he followed methods.
No.
No, but Pavlov studying
Pavlov's
the
famous
first
for
study.
experimental design.
Sir, Pavlov actually focused on just saying that we can learn all the behaviors by conditioning. So he has organized his experiment where he is pairing an unconditional stimulus with a conditional stimulus, and then he is getting a conditioned response. Skinner said that not everything can be learned by conditioning only. There can be some learnings which happen as instrumental. So he started his experiment with reinforcements. And then he said that learning can also take place by providing reinforcements. So if the reinforcement is favorable, the person will do that behavior repeatedly. And if it is towards the punishment side, the person will drop that behavior. So he showed that behavior can be learned by giving reinforcements.
No, my point, that is from the methodological point of view, because Skinner also telling that is our behavior is conditioned. Any behavior is basically conditioned. So that is the principle of the conditioning. Behavior can be conditioned. So my point from the methodological point of view, experimental situation point of view, have you observed any difference between the two?
Sir,
Skinner's experiment that gives us a direction.
Where?
So in Pavlov's experiment, the Pavlov has himself organized when will be the stimulus provided and when will not be the stimulus provided. Whereas in Skinner, he has designed it such that the person himself has to find out.
Correct.
the process is more experimental.
Means the decision would be on the one who requires it. Whereas in that, the other person is determining. Pavlov, other person will be determining it.
Okay.
In Pavlov, sir, it is more methodological, sir.
Pavlov follows the methodology, Skinner also follows the methodology. And experimental approach, both followed the experimental approach, because the some of the intervening variables, they are totally controlled. In case of the Pavlov experiment, that is controlled, and in case of Skinner model also, intervening variables are controlled. But what Borsha has said very clearly, that is, one's behavior is operant. Okay, but others' behavior is not operant. So that is the basic difference. So from the critical review of literature, this part is important. Both have covered the experimental design for learning or for modification of the behavior. but their methodology differs and each has some limitation. In Pavlovian experiment, there is some limitation, and that limitation has been observed by Skinner, and Skinner designed another experiment. Okay, so what is important in case of the critical review, it is prioritizing only on the methodological aspect, whether the methodology followed properly or not. So that is the issue of the critical review. Now I am requesting Madhuri. Madhuri Nandi, please you read.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you, sir. Rapid review. The rapid review technique is a streamlined approach to systematically assess and synthesize existing literature.
Little bit loud. Huh?
Okay, sir. The rapid review technique is a streamlined approach to systematically assess and synthesize existing literature in a time-efficient manner. It is particularly useful when time constraints are a factor. Here is a concise guide, define scope, clearly outline the research question or topic, specify inclusion and exclusion criteria, search strategy.
Little bit loud. Your voice not very slow.
Search strategy. Conduct a focused literature search using relevant databases. Employ predetermined keywords and terms. Screening process. Quickly review titles and abstracts for relevance. Exclude studies that do not meet criteria. Assess the methodological quality of selected studies. Focus on key aspects relevant to the research question. Data extraction. Extract essential data from selected studies. Prioritize information critical to the review's objectives. Synthesis of findings. Summarize key findings from selected studies. Identify patterns, trends, or gaps in the literature.
Next.
May I continue, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Report writing. Present a concise and clear summary of the review. Highlight implications for future research. Iterative process. Be open to revisiting and refining the review process. Ensure rigor despite the expedite timeline. Advantages. Quick turnaround suitable for time-sensitive projects. Provides a snapshot of existing evidence. Challenges. Potential risk of overlooking nuanced details. Not nuisance, that is nuanced details. Limited depth compared to comprehensive reviews. Note, while rapid review expedites the process, researchers should balance speed with methodological rigor to ensure reliable results. Adjust the approach based on the specific requirements and objectives of the research.
Okay. So when rapid review is important?
When there is a limited time frame and can be done as an alternative of systematic review.
Yeah, very true. That is, the time frame is very much limited. At that time, we can follow this type of things. this rapid literature review.
Sir, what is the mean of time frame? I mean, how we can?
For example, in case of the post-graduation, you will find you will get only the 3 months
2
time.
years or 3 years.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Right.
So time frame is there. Time frame
Okay,
is
in that way.
most
Right.
important part. You cannot continue for long time, na? Because you have to arrange other person also.
True, true.
Now, Debjani, can you read?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Umbrella review. An umbrella review is a systematic collection and assessment of multiple systematic reviews and meta-analyses on a specific research topic. Umbrella reviews were developed to deal with the increasing number of systematic reviews and meta-analysis in biomedical literature.
Yeah. So, what is the difference between systematic literature review and the umbrella review?
Systematic literature reviews, in the umbrella reviews, there are the multiple systematic reviews are there, and meta-analysis also there on a specific research topic. But in the systematic literature review, is only there are also evidence-based research topic, and actually systematic research review also
umbrella review is the collective of the collective, but more systematic review collection.
Collection of
This is a compilation of all systematic review.
and meta-analysis.
Analysis also.
Correct.
So it is this is more broader than a systematic one.
Yeah, that is true. So umbrella review means review of the reviews. Okay, and that should be systematical. It covers both the systematic reviews and the meta-analysis. And now, can you tell me that is why umbrella review is very important?
There are so many systematic review are integrate here. So this is there are multiple systematic review and meta-analysis present. So this umbrella review is very important. Single systematic review rather than many multiple review is very better than one. So in that aspect, the umbrella review is very important.
Yes. So what is the limitation of the umbrella review?
This only can be done in the biomedical place.
No, not necessary. It is written, but without biomedical literature in other area also. What is the limitation?
Sir, it is very vast area. Actually, it is very broader area. So
time constant, sir. More time is
Right.
required.
It's a very time consuming. Another thing that is
it requires expertization.
That is true. Another important issue is that in case of the systematic literature review, you can collect the initial research, but if the initial research is not available, then
So
umbrella review cannot be conducted.
And sir, also the validity of data is also an issue may be there.
Definitely. If it is not validated, then umbrella review, yeah.
We are just depending on the reviews that is what is available, but we are not cross-checking the data or whatever done in the research. So there may be the validity may be jeopardized, I think.
Yeah, but umbrella review is very, very important.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir. I have a doubt, sir.
Yes, yes. Yes, sir, please.
Sir, how can we decide which literature review that we have to follow, sir?
That is the
like you are told that the post-graduation, they get a time limit like that, 3 months like that. So particular is that. So how can we decide, sir, these things and all?
No, that is for the rapid literature review. I am talking about the umbrella literature review.
No, overall, I'm asking, sir, for which purpose, which literature review has to be carried out?
Yeah, in case of any literature review, which is specifically systematic literature review, we have to follow the inclusion and the exclusion criteria.
Sir.
That is the vital point.
Sir.
Now, this is the last one. Shumana, can you read it?
Yes, sir. That is integrative literature review. An integrative literature review synthesizes and interprets diverse sources to provide a comprehensive understanding of a research topic. It often includes various study designs and methodologies, allowing for a broader exploration of the subject. Difference is, a systematic literature review follows a structured process employing specific criteria for study selection and rigorous methodology. It aims to minimize bias and provides a more objective analysis of existing literature. While both types of aim to summarize existing knowledge, the key difference lies in the methodology. Integrative reviews are more flexible and inclusive, while systematic reviews adhere to a strict protocol for a more systematic and focused approach.
So what is the difference between the two, systematic literature review and the integrative literature review?
Systematic review, it adheres to a strict protocol. This is more systematic and focused. And integrative is a more flexible.
Yes, that is true. Any other observation? It is written.
Methodology, sir. Sir, in the last line it is written, the key difference lies in the methodology. And
one side is the flexibility, another side is the broader exploration. Okay. In case of the systematic literature review, your exploration is relatively narrow in comparison with the integrative literature review. Okay. So today we have learned the difference between systematic literature review and other types of literature review. Now, do you have any question?
Sir, in the integrative literature review, like it talks about like it combines various study designs and methodologies. So it sticks to just the quantitative aspect of the methodologies, or it can extend to the qualitative part as well.
Yeah, both.
Okay.
Because it is integrative.
All right, sir.
Now, in case of the literature review, what will be your steps for systematic literature review? What will be your first step? Can anybody tell me? Because now we have completed all the discussions about the difference between systematic literature review and other types literature review. So what will be your first step?
First step, we have to select which type of literature review that we have to carry out, sir.
Any other observation? What is the first step of literature review?
Sir, finalizing the research area, research topic or research area.
Question.
Sir, formulation of PICO model question, sir.
Very good. Research question.
Research question, sir.
Research question is important. After that, research topic will be coming up. Initially, research question is important. Okay. Now, can anybody tell me how do you frame the research question?
Sir, we frame the question by using PICO model.
What is that model?
PICO. P-I-C-O.
Okay. What is that?
P for population, I for intervention, C for control, O for outcome.
Very nice. Any other observation? How do you frame the research question?
Based on the, sir, area of interest and requirements, sir.
So based on the research gaps, sir, and the research topic.
No, I am asking the research question. How do you frame the research question?
The problem based on ground, sir.
Suppose the topic is the peace. So if it is related to the topic, suppose you are interested to do some research on peace. Okay. Then,
sir, in case of my area of interest, I am raise a question. How does in my area of interest is as my area of interest is in music, so how does music affect on peace of mind? It is my research question.
Yeah, very correct. So that means you are giving importance on the process factor.
Yes.
Okay. Now, another part is what is music or what is music therapy? Okay. And what are the determinants of music therapy effect on the depression? Suppose that will be your research question. So,
in case of peace, I do the topic is maybe music and peace. And
yeah,
in
that is possible. Music and peace. Okay,
music
that is,
and peace.
and
it is a broader aspect.
Yeah, that means one research question is related to the determinants.
Determinants.
One research question will be related to the process. And one research question may be related to the outcome. One research question is related to the moderator. One research question will be related to the mediator. Is it clear? Or any question?
Sir, what what kind of research questions is considered the best? Process, outcome, moderator, or
Determinants.
determinants?
Everything depends upon the research gap.
Right.
Research gap is important. So your research questions will be directed to these areas.
Okay.
What are the areas I have told? Just now?
Peace.
Determinants, sir. Determinants, process, outcome, moderator, mediator.
Mediator.
5, sir. 5, sir.
Okay.
And finally,
So
it depends upon the research gap.
Okay. So your research question will be directed to these areas. And after that, you will search the prior studies. Then that will be easy for you to do the systematic literature review.
So what study, sir?
Your research question will be directed to these areas.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Determinants. Next is the
Process.
process. Process means how.
Yes, sir.
And after that,
Outcome.
Outcome. That is the effect. Another one,
Moderator.
moderator. Moderator, what is the meaning of moderator?
Who plays the role?
Yeah, moderates changes the relationship between the variables. Okay. So moderator is important. Another one is the mediator. Mediator means through which the variables are related. That is the mediator. So your research question will be directed to these areas.
Right.
বলো একটু পরে আমার ক্লাসটা শেষ হয়ে যায় এই 5 মিনিট পর ওকে Okay.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
any other question? Okay. Now, I am requesting all of you, please you write one research question about your own project. Okay. Therefore, we can slowly understand how to do the systematic literature review.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Right, sir.
Okay, sir.
And please you try to follow these 5 directions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you everybody. What is the next class, Farah? Tuesday.
Sir, it is on Tuesday, sir, at 7 p.m.
7.
Tuesday at 7 p.m. Okay,
Yeah.
not the 8 p.m.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Best
Good night,
wishes
sir.
to all of you.
Good night.
You can share your experience in the group. Okay,
Right, sir.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.